how did this happen? How did this happen? You don't need to know my business like that. I'm a giver. Get a grasp of your money. Ow. My hand, this laptop is heavy. Whew, I hope this is making sense. Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I'm going to be walking you through my 2022 financial report and also sharing the money mistakes that I made in 2022 that I hope not to repeat next year. If you're watching this, it's already the new year. Happy New Year, and I'm wishing you a prosperous new year ahead. One of the reasons why I created this financial report is just to have a holistic view of my finances. Now, this is something that I have always been intentional, but this year I decided to take it up a notch. I was able to create this report because I tracked my expenses on a monthly basis. I tracked my income on a monthly basis using my budget income and expenses tracker, which is actually linked in the description box below. So if you would like to get that, as we go through this video, you would get to see why it's important to have that. You can get your copy on the link in the description box below. So one of the great things about this financial report, or having like this view, this bird's eye view of my finances, is that it puts me in a position of knowledge. I'm able to make better decisions regarding my money, and I'm also able to see where my money is going, and also things that I shouldn't repeat, or certain loopholes regarding my money that I need to stop. I'm blabbing too much. Let's just jump right into the report. I've got my laptop here and I'm going to be sharing what I'm doing on the screen. So let's get started. This is the opening page. I'm going to show you the first chart. So this is the first chart, which shows my 2022 income and 2022 expenses. So the bars in yellow, that is my gross income. That is all the money that I get from all the different sources that I earn from. So that's all the money. Those are the bar in yellow. Then the bar in red obviously means it don't red. Those are my expenses. Those are the things that I spend on a month-to-month basis, like all the money I spend in a month. That's what each of the red bar represents. Then the green is savings. So that's all the money that is left after I have excluded my expenses. And this money, I could either use it to actually save towards different saving goals or to put towards my investments. So I started in February. That's because in January, I was still in Nigeria and a lot of things were going on. I wasn't like in full control of my finances. But then when I came to the UK in February, I decided to start doing this properly. This report starts from February. You can see in February, my earnings, my savings, my expenses, everything is like on a minimum. And that's because at that time I did not have like a full-time job. I did not have a 9-to-5 job. I was only earning money from YouTube and also like some affiliate marketing. So you can see the earnings there is pretty low, which is the yellow bar. In March is also low. And then you can see that in April I spent a lot of money, which is the red bar. You can see it's really up there. And then you can see that the green bar, which is supposed to be my savings, is down, which means I literally did not save anything. I went in a minus, meaning I didn't save anything that month. So, and the next month I can see that is bad is June. The green bar goes downwards, meaning I didn't save a lot in that month as well. But I have better charts to show this clearly. So what we can see here now is my monthly expenses. This is just expenses graph, expenses chart alone. My most expensive month was April. And that's why I really like this report thing, because I can see like how I performed for each of the months in the year. So April, I spent a whole lot of money. And then from doing this, I could tell that my average monthly expense was around like £1,500 plus. I can't give the exact amount here because you don't need to know my business like that. But I know the average amount. I know like my average monthly expenses, and this can help me plan. Like I know that, oh, this is how much I spend on average on a month-to-month basis. It informs my planning process. Okay, now let's look at the savings. This is my monthly savings. You can see that in February, I kind of like struggled with savings. And in April, which was also my most expensive month, the chart here showing that it went below zero, meaning I didn't save anything. I was literally in a minus. I didn't save anything. June, May, it went up a bit. July, you can see that for the first half of the year, I was literally struggling with my finances. Like I wasn't really doing so well with money. But from the second half of the year, I improved. Like my savings went up. As you can see in this chart, from July, August, it went up. And then September, it plummeted a little bit. And what I noticed was that in September, I spent a lot of money on shopping. And so I decided that in October, I'm not going to spend any money at all. I'm not going to spend any money at all, like on shopping. I called it my no shopping month. So you can see September, October, and the two best months for me is November and December. My savings literally skyrocketed. So that's good. Okay. Now, this chart is just to compare monthly expenses and monthly savings, just so I see how I'm performing actually. Now you can see that the most expensive month here, I spent, the red obviously means expenses, and because I have this holistic view, I can tell why this happened. The reason why I spent a lot of money in April is that we redecorated our home. There's a video on my channel where I said we redecorated our rented apartment. That literally cost a lot of money. I spent a lot of money on that. And also in April, I paid for a course. So I completed a 6-month executive education at Imperial College. I paid for that. So that was another expense that like I incurred that made April really expensive. And also I have like a side hustle, the CP community, and a lot of business expenses were going up from my personal account. So I had not separated my personal account, my business account properly. I mean, I had separated it before, but when I started like earning from my side hustle in pounds, I did not have a separate pounds account for my business. So there's a lot of mixing with my personal funds and like my side hustle funds. That also made April to be a very expensive month. So those were the reasons why April was so expensive, and I literally did not save any money. So as you can see here, if you look at December, my expenses is quite minimal compared to my savings. I did the best in December. I saved a lot of money in December, and then you can see that from July till December, my savings and my expenses are kind of like on a similar level. Like they're kind of like on a similar level. Like the only month that is not really good in the second half of the year is October, which I said I realized I spent a lot on shopping. And when I say shopping, it's not just clothes for myself, even like for family, for people. Like I just spent a lot of money in October, and that's why in November I'm like, I'm not gonna spend anything, and that kind of helped. Okay, so now this is just to give it percentages. So I might look at that previous chart and be like, oh yeah, I saved a lot in December, I saved a lot in November, but like what is the actual percentage of my earnings that I saved? What we can see from this chart, first of all, let's look at April. April, it shows that I spent 200% of my earnings. What that means is I spent twice the amount I earned that month, which is absolutely insane. Like I spent twice. So for example, it means if my salary is like £1,000, it means in April I spent £2,000. That puts me in a deficit. That means I spent way more than I earned, which is not the way to go. And then also in June was the second worst performing month for me. I spent a whole lot more than I saved, as you can see indicated by the red bar here. And the reason why June was the second worst performing month was because I made less money, and also I had just started my job. So my 9-to-5 job, I started it in June, so the salary had not come through yet. So also what I noticed was, even though I was not earning money a lot in June, I still gave a lot of monetary gifts, which is something that I'm realizing I need to be very conscious of. Like I'm a giver. I like to give, but then I realized I need to start putting a cap on my gifts, like gifts given that I'm giving to people. Imagine me not earning a lot, but then I'm spending so much on monetary gifts, okay? Also, I had still not separated my business expenses from my personal account, and about £400 business expenses came out from my personal account. So, but then by the next month, I then separated it. I then created like a business account in the UK for my side hustle, and I was able to separate that, which actually went a long way in helping me manage my finances. Okay, now this is the same information just represented in a table, just so you can see that April I spent 200.59% and I didn't save anything, I was in a deficit. June, you can see I spent 182.4% of my earnings. November and December were the best months. You can see I saved 57%, and over here I saved 77.86%. So those were the two really good months, and I just need to look at what I did in November and December so I can replicate it going forward in order to save more money. Ooh, I hope this is making sense. Okay, so let's look at YouTube. So I also earn money from YouTube, and obviously I don't want to share the exact details of the amount I earned, but this just gives you like an overview. So you can see that from Google AdSense, which is basically YouTube paying me, this is what I earned. And then I earned more from YouTube sponsorships, and these sponsorships have to do with affiliate marketing and also like ad placements on my channel. I earned more from that, which is actually normal for every YouTuber. Ideally, you should be earning more from sponsorships than from YouTube itself. Yes. And last but not the least, so my 2022 financial report in a summary. So my annual income, all the money I made, so my gross income, every money I made, I spent 61.09% of all the money that entered my hand this year, and I saved 38.91%. So for me, I know I want to achieve a savings rate of at least 50% of my annual income. So from this report, I can tell myself that I'm at the 38% mark. So I can actually try to do better in 2023. So I can actually hit like a 50% savings rate for my annual income. All of this information that I fed into this report was all gotten from my budget, income and expenses tracker. I'm just going to show what that looks like here. This is kind of like what it looks like. This is where I got all the information that I used to feed my financial report. It's my budget, income and expenses tracker for every single month. I track how much I spend, how much I saved, how much I spent on different items. I think I already have a video on how I budget on my channel. You can check that out. But yeah, I just wanted to show this. So this is where all the information that I got that I used to feed into my report, this is where I got it from. So you can get it on the link in the description box below. It's already set with pre-formatted formulas. All you have to do is input your digits and it will do the calculations for you. So you can get a link in the description box below. Ow, my hand, this laptop is heavy. Okay, so now we'll be going into the last and final part of this report, which is the money mistakes that I made in 2022, which I do not want to repeat in 2023. Now, the very first mistake that I made, and I'm not proud of this, is that I entered into an unarranged overdraft. If you don't know what that is, this is terminology in the UK, or I got familiar with this terminology in the UK. So overdraft is you borrowing money from the bank. There are two types: unarranged and arranged. Unarranged means you did not tell the bank you want to borrow from them, but you borrowed. While arranged means you told the bank, oh, please, can you people give me, borrow me £2,000. What this means is if your account reaches 0.00 and you have like scheduled payments, the bank should borrow you £2,000 to pay all of those things, and then you pay back whatever amount you used, you pay it back. That's arranged overdraft. I entered unarranged overdraft by mistake. How did this happen? How did this happen? Let me just do. So I forgot that I had some scheduled payments. I have different accounts for different expenses. I have accounts for savings, accounts for expenses, accounts for different things, right? So I forgot I had a scheduled payment for council tax. I forgot I had council tax coming up on a particular day, and my account was reading in like £50 or so, and council tax about £100+. So this money was taken out of my account. So what this means is, even though I had only £50 left in my account, the bank still paid the full £100+, meaning I was owing the bank. I borrowed money from the bank. So I entered into unarranged overdraft, and this also affects your credit score. So it affected my credit score, but we thank God we are recovering. So I entered unarranged overdraft, and that's something that I know that I'm not going to repeat again, because now I'm fully in control of what's happening with my money, and I'm fully on top of all scheduled payments. Like I know when my scheduled payments are due, so I ensure that I have enough money in my account for that. Now, the second mistake that I made is not planning for a major expense like house redecoration. As you can see from the report, I spent a lot of money in April redecorating my house. I'm making it up to my taste. But the problem is I did not plan for that. So I just felt like, oh my God, this house, I don't like it. I was not happy in this house. And suddenly I just decided, you know what, let's go out. Let's go to IKEA. Let's buy this, let's buy that. Let's buy this chair, let's buy that. Like, it was just like a thought, and then immediately I implemented it, which is one of my strengths and also a weakness. Like, I act fast. But then with money, you need to be able to plan ahead. So I did not plan for that expense. I just dug deep into my money and just like spent, and which made April very crazy. So I've learned that, you know, going forward, I need to actually plan major expenses like redecoration. Now, the next money mistake that I made is not adding money for birthdays and books in my budget. So I buy books every month, and I realized I did not actually allocate a specific amount for this throughout the year. Like, I don't know how I forgot to do that, but in my next budget, that needs to be there. Also, birthdays, like I mentioned in June, I spent a lot of money giving monetary gifts to people. So I need to actually have like proper allocation for that in my budget going forward. Now, the next mistake I made is not trying to save 40 to 50% of my income earlier. As you can see, for the first half of the year, I really wasn't doing so great with money, but by the second half, I started doing better. So I just realized I should have started trying to save at least 40 to 50% of my income on a month-to-month basis. This would have actually improved my money, my finances better. The next money mistake I made is not separating my business expenses from my personal income, which I already shared earlier. I should have done that quicker, because it made it difficult for me to actually know which one is my money and which one is for like the CP community, or which expense is actually mine and which expense is actually for the CP community. So I totally advise you separate your business and personal account as soon as you can. Even if you have the intentions to do it quick. All right. And now the last but not the least money mistake that I made is not automating payments and using apps that remind me of scheduled payments. Wait, first of all, one of the mistakes I made was not setting up direct debits for recurring payments like electricity, water, but now I have set all of that up. I would advise that you do direct debits, like automate those kind of payments for things that you pay on a regular, so you're not owing or you're defaulting on a payment or that you forget about. Another mistake that I made is not using apps, money apps that can actually help my life. So you know, I entered into an unarranged overdraft, and that's because I didn't know that my council tax was due. But now I have an app on my phone that literally tells me, oh, you have 5 payments due next week. So it tells me, oh, your Apple subscription will go out next week, or your council tax is due on this date next week, oh, this is due. So that way I just check my account and ensure that I have enough money to cover all of those expenses. The app that I use for this is called Snoop, S-N-O-O-P, link in the description box below. Snoop will allow you keep up with your scheduled payments. That's literally what I use the app for. I just like that it tells me what's going to leave my account soon. And that is it. That is my financial report for 2022. I hope this inspires you to try and get a hold of your money, get a grasp of your money. Till next time, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.